Greetings, Wastelanders. Cregen here to talk to you about the recent Worlds update for Fallout 76, as well as some of the recent updates such as the Brotherhood of Steel and the developer's roadmap for the rest of 2021. If you are a new or returning player, then I highly recommend watching this video. Even if you've been playing on and off since launch, a lot has recently changed, and it's probably worth taking a fresh look at how everything works. I have to admit, there were even a few things I stumbled on here and there while researching for this series that I had either forgotten about, wasn't sure if it was still true or not, or even knew about in the first place. So let's start with what I think makes Fallout the most unique out of everything that goes into this game: specials and perk cards. If you are new or just need a refresher, the specials are the Fallout universe's trait points, if you will, and are an acronym for Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and Luck. Starting with 1 point in each trait and gaining a new point at each level up until 50, players can assign up to 15 points in a category, including the 5 points max from legendary specials, which has a direct impact on what and how many perk cards can be equipped. More on that in a minute. Strength impacts your melee damage and how much you can carry. It occasionally pops up as a gate to optional conversation choices and quests. If you're into certain tabletop RPGs, think Intimidation. Perception impacts your VATS accuracy, how easily you can spot stealthed enemies, and just your general awareness of enemies. It frequently pops up as a gate to optional conversation choices and quests. Again, think Investigation check. Endurance affects your overall health, disease resistance, and action point drain. Charisma impacts your rewards from teammates' completed quests, NPC trader pricing, not player vendors, and impacts what level of perk card you can share. It frequently pops up as a gate to optional conversation choices and quests. Intelligence affects your XP rate, the amount of scrap you earn from breaking down equipment, the overall condition of crafted items, and impacts the difficulty of hacking terminals. Also another common conversation gate. Agility impacts your ability to stealth, as well as your action point regen. Luck impacts how often you crit in crafting with super duper equipped, durability of weapons and armor picked up in the game, increased ammo, caps, and chem finds, as well as your VATS crit meter regen. Perk cards are simply passive skill points that can be upgraded to become more powerful, typically up to rank 3, though there are a few 1-star and 5-star perks. These cards are categorized according to their respective specials. You need enough points in a category to support a card. Upgrading a card to rank 3 requires at least 3 points be paid into its category, and adding more cards needs just as many points. These cards include passives ranging from increased carry weight or discounts on travel fees to direct impact on the amount of damage your weapon can inflict, or damage reduction to help you stay alive. There are a lot of combinations, and while the game doesn't allow for everything to be a viable build, you do have quite a lot of options. There are some odd exceptions, however, a few 1-star cards that are deemed too powerful and count as 2 slots, so you will need at least 2 free points in that special to equip. Every time you level, up through level 50, you will receive a point to put into one of your specials, which will give you the chance to pick a card from that category, though card selection may be limited by player level early on. At levels 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, you will also receive a pack of 4 random cards, its pool limited by your level and RNG, and once every 5 levels after level 10. This continues well past 50, and cards can be upgraded by combining duplicates. Selecting a Rifleman card when you already have one gives you the opportunity to increase it to rank 2, if you have enough points in Perception to support it. You continue to earn cards when you level beyond 50, 1 per level, with a card pack every 5, but you cannot put more than 15 points into any one attribute. Items that grant bonuses can push way beyond 15, but that does not allow for more cards. This includes the newer legendary specials. Returning players will want to pay attention. April's Locked and Loaded update has made some changes as to how attribute points are moved. As I mentioned earlier, starting with level 2 and lasting until 50, players get an attribute point along with a perk card when they level. You can put this point into any of the specials up to a max of 15, including the points from legendary attribute cards. With the Locked and Loaded update, starting at level 25, you can move specials around and save them along with perk card loadouts in the punch card machine, with a default max of 2 presets, which can be upgraded to 5 by purchasing with atoms, the game's shop currency. Previously, you had to wait until after level 50 to start moving points around, and that was at the cost of 1 point per level up, sacrificing your option for a perk card that level. Changing builds was a drastic measure, as moving 10 attribute points around, for example, required having to farm 10 levels worth of XP. Now it's instant and free at any train station, at Crater and Foundation, or at your camp. Simply go into edit mode, tab over to the crafting category, and place the punch card machine. Once your first character hits 50, you unlock your first legendary perk card slot. The cards themselves are not earned or unlocked, they are all available once you have a slot open. Simply pick which ones you want to equip. As you continue to level beyond 50, you earn additional card slots, with the 6th and last slot earned at level 300. These slots are instantly available to all other characters as well, so it is recommended you put some serious time into your main character before creating any other alts. To level up the cards, you need to break down an unwanted perk card for 2 points per card level, so a 3-star card will yield 6 coins. Increasing from rank 1 to 2 will cost 50 coins, 2 to 3 will cost 100, and so on, up to level 5. That is a lot of XP. The legendary cards add quite a variety of effects and cost 1 per card coin to unequip, so choose wisely and don't change too often. It's best to load something that generally is beneficial to you regardless of what role you're playing, as these cards are not free to move around in the card loadouts. Next up, combat. If you've played any of the Fallout games before, you're probably familiar with VATS. If you haven't, VATS, which stands for Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, is the fill-in for your typical MMO-style auto-select, your tab key, if you will. Using VATS uses action points as well as power cells if you're in a power armor suit, which doubles as a pseudo-stamina bar. So don't think you can sprint up to a fight and start instantly blasting away at mobs. You'll want to pause and catch your breath for a few seconds first. Alternatively, you can also free aim by using the sights or scope, though holding your breath to steady your aim will also use AP. As far as tactics, there's a few approaches depending on what your build is. Early on in the game, however, you're more likely to be using whatever weapon you found on the ground and will probably be forced to take cover during combat. If you want to see more examples of different combat situations, I will be uploading videos on my stealth VATS and my heavy gunner power armor builds in the near future, plus a level 1 starter guide as I create what will become my main character. Next, let's talk about the crafting system. Crafting, repairs, and modifications on an item need to be done at the appropriate bench. While you can deconstruct just about anything at any station, weapon crafting or modding needs to be done at a weapons workbench, armor at an armor bench, etc. What equipment you can craft depends largely on what it is. Some items you learn to make just by picking one up, cooking for example. Some you need to decon the item first, others require you to find or purchase plans and recipes. Modifications work largely the same way as well. Most can be learned by deconstructing that particular item, others need to be purchased before you can craft that mod. One thing to keep in mind for armor: legs are legs, arms are arms. There's no left versus right when it comes to learning mods. Armoring will still require 5 or 6 plans, 4 limbs, and a chest, sometimes a headpiece. Repairs also need to be done at the appropriate bench and use a handful of materials that vary depending on the item and level. Some endgame armor, for example, can be very expensive to repair due to the need for ballistic fiber, which can be difficult to source. I will be uploading guides in the near future that should help make hunting these items down easier. Lastly, let's talk about where Fallout's been this year and where it still plans to go. In April, we had the first quarter update, Locked and Loaded. This was the first of many positive changes this game has seen this year and introduced camp slots, the specials loadouts, crafting sliders, and new daily ops. The second quarter update in July, Steel Rain, gave us the ability to add legendary prefixes in either 1, 2, or 3 stars for weapons, armor, and power armor. Sadly, there were some attributes that were removed at the last second, unyielding power armor. But nevertheless, it was a massive improvement to the game, unless your main source of income was selling legendary items. Sorry. Most recently, September 8th saw the release of Fallout Worlds and the custom private servers we can now build in. Those with a Fallout First subscription can choose to build in a fully customizable world with spawn rates, various difficulty options, and the ability to build just about anywhere, while those who do not sub are limited to the server's flavor of the week. One important thing to note is that once you import a character to any one of the customized worlds, any advancement you make does not carry back over to adventure mode. Think of it like playing in a public test server or sandbox mode. If you copy over your level 500 character and gain 50 levels in Worlds, loading back into Adventure Mode will still see you playing your level 500. Still to come this year is the winter update with Season of the Mothman, recently updated from the now scrapped Zeton theme. Promised in this update is loot sharing, including legendary loot, so no more losing legendary kills to Gauss one-shots, aerial looting, Pip-Boy colors, and a Mothman-themed event, which has me particularly excited. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please do me a favor and hit that like button, and if you want to stay up to date on future videos, make sure you subscribe as well. I'm Cregen, reminding you to change the air fresheners in your power armor suit at least once a month.